Introducing the epic new Swift. Time to go swifting.
Okay, look, see, whatever that cricket logic that you come with, all the cricket that you watched, all the cricket that you've seen in the past, put that aside right now. 137 to win their first game in the T20 World Cup. I think you and I both know that the co-hosts have an easy way to get to that 137 and possibly you know the conclusion of this game. But how can you not keep alive that cricket romantic for an associate team to play a full member nation in only their second T20 World Cup, for a player to become the first PNG player to hit a 50 versus a full member nation, second only in this team's history in the T20 World Cup. Sese Bao, that's got to be the story that you're leading with. After that, of course, innings at Providence Stadium in Guyana. Thank you so much for joining us on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout. As a PNG, who were put into bat by co-host West Indies, have made 136 runs, which means the Windies need 137 to start tournament with a win. I'm joined in studio by Wasim Jaffer. I'm also joined from Dallas by Ian Bishop. Gentlemen, good to see the two of you again. Sese Bau, I think in Marathi, Bau means brother, but brother has played some innings over there, Wasim.
He did. It's a great story. Playing a full nation for the first time and getting a 50. It's not an easy thing. I thought they bowled really well at the start of the power play. But he won't have faced this kind of bowling attack in the associate game. So full credit to him. He'll be pretty happy. And I thought they posted a decent score, 136 batting first. I thought they posted a decent score. So well done to him.
Ian, given the fact that in this first 10 overs, they only put about 50, lost a couple of, I think, 4 or 5 wickets, and then from there to really get a grip on, kind of shows you that the match practice, the number of T20 games that you've played in the build-up to this World Cup, playing those situations, those shows that these associate teams are coming a long way.
I 100% agree with you, 57 for 4. And look, there'll be 2 compartments to this. The casual cricket watcher will be looking on and saying, one-sided contest, they didn't put enough runs on the board. The game isn't finished yet. So that's the casual watcher. But broadcasters, journalists, former players like myself, the both of you in studio will understand where PNG are in their development, playing against full member nations and in their second T20 World Cup. There are a number of stories like Afghanistan, like Netherlands, like Ireland, who given time and opportunity will get through their initial growing pains and hopefully grow into something much better. So don't look at where teams are now, look at where they could be in another decade or even more.
I'm just looking at it not just from a PNG perspective, Ian, just the fact that you've had a guy come out there, hit a 50 in that first T20 game. It's a win for the game. It's a win for the sport going ahead.
Well, it's a win for, and look, it's 50 from how many deliveries? Just checking, 50 from 43 deliveries.
50 from 43, yeah.
The T20 game will require much more speed, much more aggression in this era. But for PNG and understanding where Sese Bao is now, Tony Ura, Asad Vala, Lega Siaka, guys who are 30 plus who've been around PNG cricket for a long time, they are trying to inspire the next generation of PNG cricketers. So taken in that context, this experience against the West Indies, and West Indies will be looking to win. They can't disrespect PNG and this 137 when they get out there to bat, right? So let's park that in one compartment. It's about inspiring the next generation of guys back in PNG and the fans back in PNG who will be celebrating every landmark that their team can achieve.
Build up to this game, of course, we were talking about how you celebrate the small wins. This is one of those small wins. But from a West Indies perspective, gave you a glimpse of when you put in those 3 spinners. First 10 overs, I think 7 overs of spin straight away. Sort of tells you they knew the surface, what the surface was going to give you, and there was spin on offer right away.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Akil Hussain bowl his first 3 overs in the 7 overs. And I was surprised that he was not used for the 4th over, considering he only gave 9 runs and took 1 wicket. Roston Chase, we expected him to bowl early part in the first half of the 10 overs. But other than that, I think they'll be a little bit disappointed that they allowed PNG to score 136. We talked about the bowling beat being a little bit light compared to their batting. That's the area they look to obviously sharpen up. This is obviously the first game. We do see they are one fast bowler light, and especially in the depth, that's going to be a concern for West Indies. But yeah, I mean, they'll obviously feel that they've given probably 15-20 runs, a lot more. But I thought Akil Hussain bowled really well at the start, so that's a big positive to them. Andre Russell again came and did what he does really well, picks up, and he can bowl in all three phases of the innings. So I think all in all, it's not a bad outing for their bowlers, knowing where they are going forward into the tournament.
Is there also a case, Wasim, of that gap that we keep talking about between associates and full member nations, that possibly that gap, especially in this format, where the associates are being told, if you have to play a format, it's the T20 format that you need to keep on playing, games in, games out, irrespective of who you might be playing, that gap, courtesy of that, is sort of shortening, or maybe not as wide as we may presume it is or expect it to be?
I mean, this is the format where you can actually upset somebody, even if you have got some shortcomings. The shorter the format, you can see an upset, but the longer the format, obviously the skills comes into play, and then the teams can bounce back. So considering that we have seen so many upsets anyway, we have seen Netherlands beat South Africa, we have seen teams like Ireland, Netherlands beat good teams. So considering this format allows you to do that, you can come out and play very fearlessly, come out and express yourself. There's no holding back. So yeah, I mean, this format allows you to do that.
Ian, a word on the West Indies pacers, because, you know, question mark, I'm guessing, will remain, at least at the start of this tournament, on how you bowl in those death overs. Keeping aside the fact that you're playing against PNG, what did you make of the way the Windies bowlers bowled in those last 5, last 6?
There was a structure to the way Robin Powell went about using his bowlers, and I could understand his structure with so many changes. I agree with everything that Wasim said there. There's another way to look at this. If you're playing against an associate member who is further down the table than you are, there was a case. There's always a blessing to keep batters surprised by changing up your bowling options, but I'm sure that there'd be bowlers there in that West Indies group who would have said, I wouldn't mind bowling 2 or 3 or maybe 4 overs here on the trot when the team is 4 down or 3 down inside that power play, just to get my rhythm, my confidence, and to impress myself. And Akil Hussain is one who does the hard job. He bowls in the power play, whereas other guys come and bowl in the middle. So I think when he's going well, I would like you to give him as much of his quota as possible so he can get his confidence to where he needs to be for the bigger task ahead. Alzari Joseph still needs to start his spells a lot better. I'm not looking at the outcome, I'm looking at the process of delivery. So those are 2 things that I'm seeing. Romario Shepherd is still a work in progress with his bowling. So given 137, I'd say it's a pass mark, but I can also see where there needs to be more work done.
Work in progress, to be continued, ... as far as that bowling is concerned. The chase now, 137, we all know the firepower they have in their ranks. Would you keep in mind that there is a certain net run rate as well? This is a good opportunity. Make sure you really pound on that metal. And
I think they'll come out and play the cricket that they know. Obviously, they would want to win as quickly as possible, which always helps, and that's the style they prefer anyway. So runs from the top order, runs from Nicholas Pooran, and hopefully not too much for the batters later on. Hopefully the top order does the job. That's something which will tick another box for them, especially in this game.
Ian, anything in particular that you're looking at as far as the batting is concerned now? 137 to win?
Well, they've got to play the game that they've planned coming into this World Cup. We saw last night with the USA winning how net run rate, when you've got it within your grasp, to improve or to get a good net run rate, you do that. So first of all, though, that power play with Charles, who still needs to convince a few West Indian fans that he deserves his spot here. Brandon King has been in good form. If you get down to Puran, you get down to Chase or Powell, if you do that, then these guys have got to play that brand of cricket that is dominant. And if they get a chance to win quickly, then do so, because net run rate could be a thing in this particular group down the road.
Yep, and who's to know, once they get going, how much they chase down.
Considering they've got Afghanistan and New Zealand in the group,
yeah,
so it's going to come in handy.
It will come in handy, no doubt about it. Wasim, Ian, thank you so much for joining us on the show. We, of course, will be with these two gentlemen at the end of this game, looking back at the game playing at the Providence Stadium in Guyana. But before we leave, of course, all our updates, mobile updates, you can catch them, faster scores and more. You can download the ESPN Cricket Info app. You can get it on Google Play, and you can also download it on the Apple Store. That's it for us. For now, we'll see you at the end of this game. You're watching Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket Info Timeout.
Introducing the epic new Swift. Time to go swifting.